It's been a long
Profile.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
It's been a couple weeks.
It's good to be back.
Since I've seen you guys.
It's good to be back. I got a new Macintosh now, so we should be stable. No more technical problems. Yeah, I laugh because that's not good. We all know that's not good. Hopefully for a little while. What's going on in everyone's world? Everyone happy to be back?
Yeah,
we all survived the eclipse. The world didn't end. That's always
Did
good.
you hear about that dude who got faulty glasses and his eyes are just fucked?
No. I
Yeah,
did not.
he went to the doctor and they're just so fucked up. So he's almost blind for the rest of his life just because he got bad glasses.
I would imagine there's a lot of people who are like that, right? I read something about there being a lot of faulty glasses that were distributed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't really noticed anything since.
Cody, where were you for the eclipse? Did you go to that festival?
I did not. I just drove down in the middle of nowhere. I was in a parking lot just watching the eclipse from my car.
I was literally down in the front.
Oh, you didn't see it in totality?
We saw it from here, so there was 99.2% totality.
That's like seeing it at 0%. It gets so dark. It gets really cold.
I wish that I had seen that.
It was magical. It was
I wish that
not once in a lifetime. 2024, I think.
I
is
saw it
the
at like
one.
80% from an office building in downtown San Francisco.
Woohoo!
80% is like nothing percent. Like that's
Nothing
even
percent.
worse than.
That's like in the negative.
Did you get glasses?
No, I just did like fraction of a second glances, and there was a little bit of a fog layer, which actually made it nice because it took all the glare down.
That's risky.
No, it wasn't. I was very, very, very short. I wasn't staring at it.
I saw videos of people in places where there was 100% totality, and it looked like it was nighttime in some of those places. I was hoping that it was going to be because I thought 99.2%. That's pretty close, but it got weird. Like the light got weird outside, but it wasn't like what I saw with the 100% totality.
I sent you guys a video. It looked like it was just a sunset all around. It was crazy.
Huh.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I need to see that. I didn't see that, but this is the first solar eclipse I've ever seen in my life, so it was kind of exciting nonetheless.
How many have happened since you've been on this earth?
I don't know how many happen.
They happen all the time. They just don't always happen
on this side, yeah, where you live, right?
There was one that was fairly good, maybe 4 years ago that I remember witnessing here, but it wasn't total. But all the shadows turned into crescents and all that kind of weird stuff. I'm not sure when
there's
the
another
last
one in 7
total
years, and it's actually the totality will happen in Austin.
Goes through Ohio,
and that's another
too.
one of my hometowns. I mean, I got a lot of hometowns, a lot of places where I know a lot of people. So I might actually go in 7 years to the Austin one because I want to
go.
Good reason to visit. You know,
I want to go. That'd be fun.
Cool. Let's do Austin. 7 years. It's
yeah.
on.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, what do we got today?
News. I've got a couple items for you. I thought you guys might get a kick out of this first one. The headline: Young Chinese are too fat and masturbate too much to pass army fitness tests.
Kevin, will you bring this up? Young Chinese are too fat.
How do they
and
measure
masturbate too much to
this?
pass army fitness tests.
To kind of
The second part.
summarize
How do they measure
here.
that?
Well, it says a poor diet and frequent masturbation leading to abnormally large testicular veins are believed to be behind falling fitness levels, according to a report published in state-run military newspaper, the People's Liberation Army Daily.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Authorities also think the constant use of smartphones and drinking water with too high a mineral content are to blame.
That's smart water.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I don't know really what else to say about it.
But the title of this article is just gold. Young Chinese are too fat, like quote, too fat and masturbate too much to pass army fitness tests. That's pretty funny.
Do they survey these young, I guess, male men and women? Do they just ask them how many times do you masturbate a day or a week or?
I'm guessing. I mean, they have some statistics, just like in one city, 56.9% of potential recruits were rejected after failing fitness tests.
And why is it masturbation? Why isn't it sex, too?
It claims 8% of male candidates suffered from enlarged testicular veins.
That sounds like not masturbating enough.
I don't know what the science
I'm not a
is
doctor, though,
behind
so
this.
don't quote me on that.
Interesting.
I don't know if anybody here knows the science behind this. I do
but,
not. But I thought it was pretty funny. So.
It's a funny title. I like it.
Apparently, the Chinese military is not the threat we thought it was because they all talk too much.
Awesome.
We dodged that bullet. The next one is a little less funny. It popped up today in my news feed, at least. But since we've all been there and seen crazy things, I thought I'd bring it up. The Burning Man Festival. Horrifying moment. A man evades security to dive into huge fire. This one's really nutty. The picture that goes along with it's really creepy.
Wow, someone got
It's great quality photo.
That's someone got. Let me zoom into that. I mean, not trying to glorify this in any way, but that's pretty intense.
I watched this thing when it went up. I mean, I was watching it last night randomly on the computer. Someone had posted that it was happening, and I turned it on. I just must have looked away when this happened because it looks like this is just post the time that I was watching, but I guess it was a huge scene, and for obvious reasons. The guy died apparently this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Kim.
So, I don't know why he thought he wanted to jump into the fire. I don't know if it was I want to commit suicide this way, or I'm so inspired.
You have to plan that out, I think. I don't think that's a spur. Well,
no, I think it was like here, cleanse myself. Like, I think that was a belief that I read. Why,
really?
Why people do it, why they run through the fire. You know, like
not
firewalkers.
Specifically to this guy, but.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe this guy was high on something, and it made sense.
There's a good possibility. I don't know. I've been to Burning Man 5 times, and I've been high on something every time I've gone. So, I mean, there's a good chance.
Isn't that an 11-day festival, too?
7
day?
Seven, yeah.
7,
9 day?
Depends. I mean, you can kind of linger for a while. If you have early entry passes, you can be there for a while beforehand. The main event's about 7 days long if you go for the entirety of it. Though usually that's hard to do, and to some extent, because you spend 10 to 20 hours in line in a car. But I don't know. It's really sad. Someone died. I mean, it happens at Burning Man with some level of frequency, but it's always real sad.
This has been a few years before someone ran into the fire. Like I don't think that anyone's. I think this is the second time that someone died in the Burning Man fire.
Mm-hmm.
They've
the
died.
Last time someone was trying to throw something into it, I think, and fell over into it. I don't think it wasn't intentional.
Seems pretty hard to do. Like to throw something in and just falling into it.
Yeah, I'm sure they barricade it.
They do.
Well, they don't at a certain point. Like, so once the actual structure collapses, and there isn't the potential for something to fall down on you that's being burned, they generally let everyone loose and everyone dances around the giant bonfire. I mean, I've done that.
Right.
Wow.
And so what happens is people will grab large chunks of whatever they want to burn, and they'll sometimes bring them up into that fire. And I think that one of the people who died in the last handful of years was doing that and somehow lost his footing or something happened and got caught up. But it's been a while. I wouldn't. I mean, don't quote me on that. But that's what my memory is telling me.
Yeah, I don't. I know that someone died in the fire. I think maybe this is the second time, but I know that other people have died at Burning Man from the elements or being too far out, and maybe starving or just dying of dehydration. I know that's happened before. So.
1 year I was there. Someone right down the street from me was found hanging, like they hung themselves and they were hanging out of a dome. There was a time that I remember someone had to jump out of an art car and got run over.
It happens,
a lot of it's just bad judgment, but this was a pretty, I don't know.
This seems pretty deliberate, I think.
It's pretty crazy. I think the fact that there's such a bold picture about it, like it really kind of.
And I'm sure it's not long before a video comes out of it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Comes out on it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well.
So anyway, so those are the two main news items I had, but there is a third, and that is some really tasty footage that you guys were involved with.
I'm switching over right
festival.
now.
Speaking of hot stuff.
So want to give a little intro to this?
Yeah, Cody, go ahead.
Oh, the hot sauce festival?
Yeah, would you tell them what we did?
Tell us about this.
Oh, okay. So I got a text randomly one day from Scott, and it was like, hey, we're going to the hot sauce festival. And so Connor and I, since Profi couldn't come, we ended up going, and it was really kind of like old hair rock music, just on a what was like a parking lot, just like a dirt gravel parking lot in the back of the Museum of Science and Industry.
It was the Portland Hot Sauce Festival, and I just want to say that like I'm a big fan of hot sauce. I've been collecting hot sauce for a long time. Profi, when we used to live in LA, you remember coming over to my loft, and I had this bottle of this. It was called Da Bomb. And I don't know if you guys know how they rate hotness. It's actually Scovilles is the unit of measurement for heat. I had tried this in New Orleans, this stuff, the bomb, and it like wrecked my world. So I bought a bottle of it, and I would have it ready for parties at my place because I tell people at the store, and there's always one guy who's like, "Oh, I could take it." He's always some tough guy who can take it, right?
You should put photos of all the champions, like the people who completed
But Profi was there for a few of those instances where like large grown men would be in fetal position on the floor, crying. I mean, like it breaks down.
I don't think there's any pictures allowed from the last party at your
They should call it the emasculator.
Oh, they should. But anyway, we went to the Portland Hot Sauce Festival, and we had a really good time. It wasn't. We tried. Well, you'll see the video. Actually, we're going to see the video here on the screen, and if the audience wants to see the video, you can go to Quirks, the Quirks TV YouTube channel. We actually have it up on YouTube, but I'm going to play the video for you guys now, so that you can see what happened.
Yeah.
Let's see if it starts. Come on. Oh, no. There, just leave it there.
Someone's coughing 'cause it's so hot.
So there's Cody. Connor's trying some jalapeno shit.
I'm about to do the hot one. There were people walking around with necklaces with pretzels around them, like round pretzels. And then they would dip them in the hot sauce.
They had about 40 different booths. I think we tried about 30 of them.
Yeah. You gotta try these.
I'm going to.
So that's Connor. That's our usual engineer. So this was the moment that we went to the ice cream truck where they're making ice cream out of ghost peppers.
Disclaimer.
I just realized the girl's shirt in the background says Thug Life.
That's gonna be the carrots, tomatoes, onions.
So at some point here, you're going to see Connor and I trying the Carolina Reaper. It's the hottest pepper on earth.
And it's one of these.
Oh my god.
Connor has volunteered to try one of these.
You're not gonna do it too.
No, I'm video. Someone's got a video.
I pushed out at first, then I decided to do it.
Did he cry?
Full disclosure.
All right, I'll try a little piece.
So watch this. We take this tiny little sliver. It's not even the whole pepper. It's just a sliver.
Oh, you get the seeds.
And this thing is apparently 1.5 million Scovilles.
Did we see who won?
Now
Best
he's
hot
trying the hot
sauce?
sauce on top of it.
No, we didn't see who won.
Woo!
Is he gonna cry?
Well, you'll see.
Okay, so 3 minutes since we tried the hottest pepper on earth. The Carolina Reaper.
Sound like you have cotton balls in your mouth.
I was dying.
I've never had anything that hot in my life.
That shit got me for an hour.
I feel like I'm gonna puke. All right.
Ew! I didn't watch you gag on the camera.
How you doing, Connor?
Fucked up.
I'm fucked up.
Yellow in my eye.
He's crying.
My fucking right eye.
Oh my god.
That is, without a doubt, the hottest pepper I've ever tried in my life. That was 1.5 million Scovilles.
1.5 million Scovilles.
It was okay. So just so you know, like that.
It's about to play.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta turn that off. I've never tried anything that hot in my life. That was. Hold on. I gotta stop this other one from playing. I've never had anything that hot in my life. The most I've ever tried was, I think, 500,000 Scovilles. That kicked my ass for about an hour. And it wasn't just mouth pain.
Did you swallow it?
I went on an empty
Did you
stomach that
swallow?
day. I did. But I went on an empty stomach that day, and so it was like getting a knife stabbed into my stomach for like an hour after I tried it because I didn't have any food in my stomach. Like it was, I was hurting.
He's hardcore.
But I did it for. I
love watching videos like that. I mean, it reminds me of Chili Klaus, who's like a personal hero of mine. I don't know if you guys have seen his videos. He's kind of a famous guy online. I think he's Scandinavian, and he interviews people, and then they'll eat whole peppers like that, Carolina Reapers and other things like that. He went to the Danish like Philharmonic or something like that, and they all ate hot peppers and then started to play music. Just really wild videos of people basically just completely falling apart on hot peppers. They're hilarious.
It's Cody. You tried some hot sauce that day, but you didn't actually. You left. You left a little earlier than Connor and I did. I'm not giving you shit for it because I know you're a little white girl and that's your first experience with hot stuff.
I fucking know hot sauce. I'm a little white girl.
Good. It's a little white girl, and I understand.
I don't know how to respond to this yet.
No, it's cool. But we
just jump right over that table and smack.
We stuck around.
We stuck long enough.
We stuck around to like actually try real chili peppers.
Oh, like real men.
It wasn't like a man thing. Hey, look,
like a real strong man.
If you had been there to do it with us, I wouldn't be giving you shit right now. But you took off. So what do you want me to tell you?
Nothing.
Why'd you take off?
Anything.
Why'd you take off?
I don't. What day was it? Fucking Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
I have shit to do.
Anyway.
I have a joke. Speaking of your Scandinavian,
are you two married or something?
No.
So do you want to hear a joke that I have?
I do.
Okay, so why does Norway put barcodes on all of their ships?
I don't know.
Because when they come back, they can Scandinavian.
Jeez.
Oh gosh.
And this is why you don't have a joke.
She's the one who does the
show.
I know. This is why we like keep her from doing puns. It's for that very reason.
Oh God.
Oh, cage me down.
Oh boy.
They're so bad.
All right, so we got the music section next.
Let's move on.
I have a couple of interesting things. So the first one is, do you guys know what the Wilhelm scream is?
I do indeed.
Do you?
Actually, yes.
Do you, Profi?
I think so.
So there is a sound effect that's been used, and I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I think it's in the 50s. It's a particular scream that was first heard in a Western. Mm-hmm. And there's been this sort of like underlying inside joke with sound designers and Foley guys for movies. And they throw this particular sound effect. It's been in like 350 movies over the last like 50 to 70 years, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I have a clip, Profi, if you want to go to the... if you want to watch it on your end, there's a link to it. But I'm going to play it here on our end. It's the Wilhelm Scream compilation. So I'm an audience. If you didn't know about the Wilhelm Scream, you're going to see this particular sound effect in a lot of different scenes, and
you'll never be able to unhear it.
Yeah, and you'll never be able to unhear it. So here we go. I'm going to play this. Here we go. Let's hope it plays. Oh, there we go. We'll put the link for the audience to check it out on YouTube.
Brock Sampson.
Can they not hear it?
Women.
It's that. Ah! That's that sound. There's Eon Flux. Star Wars.
Shoot the bastard! Shoot him! Shoot him!
What is that, Lethal Weapon? Oh, that's Hellboy. another Star Wars.
I haven't seen the majority of these movies.
Right, this is Sin City. There we go, Sin City. Batman. You can't unsee this after this.
Vengeance is mine, yeah!
What is this? Oh my gosh, it's that stupid duck movie.
Mighty Duck.
No. Howard the Duck. Family Guy. Indiana Jones. All right. I think I've proven my point. So anyway, audience, there's 360 movies that the Wilhelm screams in. I challenge you to find them all on your own.
And then never unhear them and hear them in your nightmares.
But you'll be looking for them now in every movie you see because you're going to be wondering like if it's in the movie that you're currently watching. I think it's awesome.
It probably is, it would seem.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. My next one is because we didn't say what our topic was today when we first started the show.
Right.
So audience members, our main topic today is about scams, and we'll get into that later. But there's another TED video, and this is also has to do with film and Foley work, that everything you hear on screen is a lie, which kind of is in line with our topic today. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. I won't play the whole thing.
I love TED Talks.
Me too. Ted's amazing.
I want to start by doing an experiment. I'm going to play 3 videos of a rainy day, but I've replaced the audio of one of the videos, and instead of the sound of rain, I've added the sound of bacon frying. So I want you to think carefully which one the clip with the bacon is.
That one. All of them.
All right. So actually, I lied. They're all bacon.
Oh, Cody got it.
It's weird. Everyone's applauding him. Yes.
Yes, love
Yes,
bacon.
love
Yay
it.
for bacon. Yay for
To
bacon.
make you
Really,
hungry
really love bacon.
every time you see a rainy scene, but it's to show that our brains are conditioned to embrace the lies. We're not looking for accuracy. So, on the subject of deception, I wanted to quote one of my favorite authors. In The Decay of the Art of Lying, Oscar Wilde establishes the idea that all
Like
bad
glamour
art
shot.
comes from copying nature
Totally.
and being realistic.
And that's all I wanted to play because we're talking about scams today, and I was talking about some movie sound effects, but
trickery.
it's really all about trickery. We live in a world of trickery, and we'll get to our main topic on that subject a little later. So, moving forward.
You have one last piece, don't you?
Yes, I do. I have.
Give me those jams.
Yeah, we got the reverse song game. Cody's been pretty good at this one lately. Let's see if she gets these as well as she has in prior weeks. So here's our first song. Everyone ready?
Ready.
All right. Audience members, for those of you who might be tuning in to Quirks for the first time, what we're doing with this is I've selected 5 songs. Actually, I have a bonus song this round. We have 6 this round. I select a section, I reverse it, and I see if Profi and Cody can guess what the song is. Oh, and Kevin, by the way, we have a substitute engineer today. Kevin, why don't you say hi to the audience?
Hello, world.
Connor can't be
Hello,
here today,
world.
so Kevin's subbing. Kevin, if you want to chime in to this one, please feel free to do so. So let's start. Here's song number 1. I'm gonna be real disappointed if Profile and Kevin don't get this one.
You guys keep doing old.
Sounds like New Order.
I mixed it up.
It does. It's got
You are
like
both.
New Order.
You are both correct. You are both correct. But what song is it? One more time.
Bizarre Love Triangle.
No. One more time. Here we go.
Blue Monday. True Faith.
Cody got it. True Faith. What? Dude, oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed.
I googled
both
it.
you got. Oh my gosh, she googled it while she googled.
I googled New Order songs.
She got True Faith. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, we immediately called it as New Order. It's not like we totally.
I know, but okay. All right.
Well,
she didn't really get it. She was just
busy Googling.
Isn't this fucking
wondering.
amazing? The fact that like I can just Google and just know this information so at my hands.
Yeah.
You guessed.
Yeah.
I guess.
You did guess.
There's nothing amazing about guessing.
How did you know it was that song?
No, I'm saying it's amazing that I
Googled
have this
New Order
information
hits.
at my fingertips at any moment.
There's a bunch of New Order hits.
But it
I know,
was the third
but
one that came up.
And there's Blue Monday, New Order, and or True Faith, and Bizarre Love Triangle. I would say that those are the three like de facto standards for New Order hits. You know?
I don't know.
All right, let's go to song number 2. It's not all old songs. Don't worry, I got you back. Here we go.
Oh my god, backwards it sounds like Gwen Stefani. Like it sounds like her voice backwards.
I think you're in the correct era.
Evanescence.
You were in the correct era.
Flyleaf.
Oh shit! It's so familiar.
Couldn't tell you.
Can't tell me.
No, you're making them really hard.
Do you want to play one more time?
No, I don't know what it is.
Does anyone else know what it is?
No, you're making them too hard.
I feel like I'm gonna be like punching myself when you say who it is because it's so familiar.
All right, I'm just gonna say it
can't
in the interest of the show and time. It's Alanis Morissette, and it's "Citizen of the Planet." And it's just one of the songs that But I just figured, hey, just as a tidbit, you're a little too young to know this, but there was a show on Nickelodeon when I was a kid called "You Can't Do That on Television." Do you guys remember that show, Profi? And
Vaguely.
Okay.
Vaguely.
No. Okay.
No.
So well, then I'm not
Been a
gonna.
long
I'm not even
time.
gonna make this point.
Didn't
if
have
you guys-
cable TV.
Okay, never mind. So all right, moving on. moving on.
This is just let's relive Scott's life.
No. Alanis Morissette was Alanis Morissette was on this kids show before she was Alanis Morissette, and I didn't know that until I got older. Like I just didn't know. So yeah.
Isn't there a few pop stars like that?
Yeah. So
Like
A lot of
Mickey
them
Mouse
started. Britney
Club.
Spears was in the.
she was in the Mickey Mouse.
Justin
Club.
Timberlake.
But
Christina
so
Aguilera.
yeah, Alanis Morissette was a child TV star before she was Alanis Morissette. Anyway, moving forward, song number 3.
Onward. Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Daft Punk.
Yep, Daft Punk. Harder, better, faster, stronger. She got it. All right, song number 4. Oh, I got the Wheel of Death. Don't do it. This new Mac, man. I don't know. I had a Hackintosh running this whole thing before, and
it was failing so much you had to buy this new Mac.
yeah, and this new Mac is getting. Oh, there we go. Okay, song number 4. Here we go.
Yeehaw. I don't know.
Wait. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Anyone?
I know that song.
It's a more modern song. It came out in the last 4 or 5 years.
I know it. I'm just spacing.
What genre?
I would say indie, like indie rock, but like more on the electronic side. Indie rock, electro, indie rock.
The Gorilla.
Art. I'll give you the first name of the band. Art.
Art?
Yeah. No one. Okay. It's art versus science.
No.
Like a magic fountain.
You gotta fucking pick modern songs.
Those
or
are
like songs I would know.
That's your era. That's your generation. A band from your generation.
No one. I don't know them.
Hey, you know what? It's okay.
That's not his fault.
It's okay. It's okay to suck once in a while.
Cody, just because your musical experience is so small doesn't mean that he can't.
Just because I am
you
a little
usually
white
get
girl.
them. You're a little white girl. You should know this stuff.
It's kind of weird that she would start whining so hard the first time she struggles. Like the second she's not ruling it, she's just crying.
You've been winning like
sobbing.
every week. So.
Scott, do you have a
getting
tissue you can hand her? Do you hand her a tissue, Scott? Because I think there's some tears.
All right, song number 5. This one's a little bit more in the pocket. I expect everyone to know this one.
Everyone. Words?
There are words, but if you don't know the style, like it's okay. I'm gonna give you a hint. It's a rock band.
It's fucking backwards. I need words.
I know it's a huge rock band. they incorporate a lot of very classical chord progressions, and they're just as big as Radiohead. You should know this. It starts with an M. How about that?
I know. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Anyone? Bueller?
Wait.
Sounds really good backwards.
Fuck.
It's Muse.
I know.
Muse.
Fuck. That's what was on the tip of my tongue.
All right, next one.
We're sucking this.
I know this isn't really
so much better.
All right, here's the bonus song number 6.
Love Shack, baby.
Yep, B-52's Love Shack. She got it. Finally.
We've got 2 for
All right. Wow, that was painful.
I know.
That was painful.
I did pretty well in the last show, but this time I just couldn't.
That's okay.
Put it together.
It's okay. All right.
Put it together.
Well, good job, guys, and thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing.
I'm just trying to work, so next time it'll be easier.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. What do we got next?
Craigslist.
Yes, it's Craigslist time.
Craigslist time.
All right.
I'm so excited. So the first one, I want to make sure you have them up.
Yeah, let me make sure. I got to switch over here. So give me 1 second.
So we didn't do the show last week. So the one at the very, very end is just one that I got from I just took a picture of it. And I started screenshotting these because I realized that these ones they kind of get deemed as inappropriate, so they get taken down really quickly. So you have to be really sneaky and fast with taking a picture or a screenshot of it.
So these first few ones, though, are they're still up?
Hopefully. They should be.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Let's take these down.
All right,
cool.
So
here we go.
So the very first one is sisters, cousins, BFFs, moms, and daughters.
All right, so I'm going to read this. Auditions now available for FFM scenes. What is FFM? Does anyone know?
Female, male.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Auditions now available for FFM scenes. We're a respected producer of adult films, and we are looking for girls who would swing together with a guy. Grab your sister, your cousin, your BFF, or your mom. Holy shit, who's going to fucking grab their mom? Wow, that's horrible.
And then the rest of it is just written like an infomercial that you would see late at night on TV.
Okay, send us a nude photo. Kevin, will you put these up also as we go through each one of these? Send us a nude photo of each of you, your age. All performers must be 18 with ID, and your phone number. We want to meet you. Find us on the web at www. For faster response, reply to this ad directly. Pregnant and or milky? Bonuses are available. Don't wait. Get paid for doing something you love and share it with another girl for more fun and profit. First timers welcome.
Love it.
Wow.
I love it. It's just written like an infomercial, and it's just so excited. Like sisters, cousins, BFFs, moms, and daughters. Come on down. We're gonna fuck.
It's fucking horrible. Ugh. Gross. I mean, I love porn. I like girl-on-girl porn, so I guess all those girls are someone's sisters, cousins, and moms, right?
That's true, but it's not like you doing it with your sister, cousin.
No. Yeah, that's fucking
brother
absolutely
moms.
horrible. That's despicable.
You gotta keep it in the family sometimes.
Yeah, that's bad. All right, next one.
Next one. This one is from New York City, and the title is "Hypnotist Needed: Age Regression."
All right, here we go. I am looking for a hypnotist to help me relieve some childhood memories. The memories were a bit traumatic and I believe sexual in nature, but I need help finding answers and getting some closure. I'd prefer someone who needs practice or is willing to use me as a subject for little to no charge, as I do not have a ton of money to spend. I was recently injured and money is a bit tight. I have been hypnotized in the past for other things. I've been told that I'm a pretty good hypnosis subject. I'm a white male in my late 30s. You can be male or female. Please be local. Let me know if you're interested in what your price range would be. Open to negotiating / trading / bartering.
I like that he was just like, I've been told in the past that I'm a pretty good hypnotist subject. A compliment.
Has anyone tried hypnosis before?
I've done past life regressions.
Does it work for you?
It does. It's really relaxing and it's cool. And
did you talk about past lives? Did things come out of your brain that were not?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
I've tried past life regression once. It didn't work for me.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm curious to know that it's worked for you.
Well, I mean, who's to say if it's really a past life? Like, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm a reincarnation.
Well, I just on that note, I have a friend who who's very much like you, Profi. He's very astute, very logical, and we went to do the past life regression thing together. I mean, different times, but like while I was in town visiting him. And because of the nature of his personality, he's, like I said, he's very astute, very logical. He's not froofy and doesn't buy into bullshit at all. He went and did it, and he had an experience. And because he had an experience, and I know him so well that he wouldn't lie about it, it makes me believe that there must be something to it. Because guys who are very logical, who don't buy into bullshit very easily, when shit happens to them, and I know them personally, it makes me wonder about it because there are certain personalities I would expect would fall for it if it were a trick, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's not weird to think that in some sort of hypnotic state you could produce all sorts of strange information. I mean, the brain is full of all sorts of strange information.
Exactly, and they're kind of like writing the story for you by asking you questions. So they're like, well, what did you look like? How old were you? What country were you in? Just they kind of ask you. They build your story for you.
Seems like a lot of people were all Napoleon or some other famous figure every time I hear about it, right? Like everybody seems to have all been people we know, and that's the part where it kind of falls apart.
Well, I also read this one story called The Egg, which I recommend looking up. It's a very interesting concept, but it's a short story, and it's called The Egg, and it says that we all have lived every single lifetime. So every person that you're nice to, every person that you're mean to, just I've lived your lifetime, I've lived your lifetime, I've lived your lifetime, like many lifetimes, and then you ascend to being a god, or you ascend to being everything and God and all that. It's an interesting story. I just ruined it.
That's sort of like no. I actually part. I mean, I'm not going to get into this too deeply, but if my spiritual side, I tend to believe that as well. Like there's a good chance that we are all living each other's lives. Like we're all, like, you know what I mean. There's only one of us, and we're all being expressed through individual people. Yeah. I tend to that sort of like flows with what I would believe in my day-to-day spirituality. So cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. What's the next one?
The next one is kind of just your typical I think the title is weird, but your typical like looking for a little sugar baby, but I don't fucking understand the title of it. It's Rich Uncle Seeks Pretty Niece.
That sounds gross already.
It's fucking gross.
Tall, fit, good-looking Caucasian businessman seeks daytime playmate. 18 to 29, blonde or redhead preferred. I prefer thin, fit women. Don't we all? Be at least 18 and have ID. Generous gentleman seeks mutually beneficial arrangement for ongoing daytime mischief. Be my sugar baby. No drunks, druggies, or pros.
Why would you not?
I want a pro. I wouldn't want to. I want a pro.
Yeah.
Please.
I think he just doesn't want to hook her. I mean.
Oh, pros. Okay. I get that. Okay. Be smart, sassy, confident, and pretty. Be pretty, because if you're not pretty before you get here, you need to be pretty when you get here.
You're not my pretty niece.
Right. If you thought about this but have been afraid to take the step, do it now. This is fun, safe, and exciting. Someone sane and self-confident would be nice. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy, on Craigslist. Someone sane on Craigslist is asking for a lot, I think. So, yeah, anyway.
Next one. So the next two actually, I think, go together.
I like the picture already.
So this is just the first one, though.
All right. Bi and sexy female needed for internet radio talk show. Orlando, of course, Florida.
2 Girls, 1 Show, play off of 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Did you guys ever see that?
Ugh.
Yes.
I stopped watching it.
It's horrible.
I'm glad I didn't fucking finish it.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I was in 7th grade.
Audience members, if you haven't seen 2 Girls, 1 Cup,
I don't recommend it.
I highly recommend if you were looking for shock value. Anyway, moving forward. Hello, my name is Amber, and I'm going to be hosting my own internet radio show, and I'm looking for another female to host it with me. It's going to be all about sex, love, and life, and the requirements are simple. You must be anywhere from 18 to 23, because at 18 to 23, you know so much about life.
Right.
We're looking for a blonde with dark skin or a dark-skinned Asian.
Which, why would the fuck, if this is an internet radio talk show, like radio,
yeah.
Why do you fucking care what they look like?
That's a good point.
Because there's probably going to be video.
Yeah. Must be able to talk and sound good on the radio, be very sexual, bisexual, and have an open schedule in the evening. This is for internet talk. Okay, let's get into the grammar here.
The rest of it doesn't even fucking matter.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, everyone wants to do a podcast. Can't judge, I guess. Or here we are, episode 8.
It's just like my producer and director is a radio veteran, and we are taking this all the way to the top.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first one. And then the second one, this is just a completely other Craigslist posting I found on it. The beginning starts the exact same way. It's just like, hi, my name is Amber, and she just wants another bi female for... No, it's a different one.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's a...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, sorry. Let me bring... Is this the last one here? A female... Oh,
that one.
I see. Okay, cool. All right, so let's try this one. Bi female for girl with girl project. Here we go.
This girl's starting a lot of projects, so good on her for fucking being an entrepreneur.
Hi, my name's Amber, and I'm looking for a young, very attractive, exotic-looking female. Grammar is always horrible with these people. Look, exotic-looking females to act with me in girl-on-girl production films of my own on my own personal private website. This is not cam girl work in any way, shape, or form. This is actual acting girl-on-girl production, small clips, and we put in on a pay-per-view only website. For anyone to view the video... I'm sorry, I'm struggling with the grammar here.
I'll read it.
Yeah, why don't you read this one for me?
For anyone to view the videos, I have to become a member of the website, and that's where we make our money, as well as other little projects inside the website as well. I'm looking for a really exotic-looking Asian, Hispanic, and white as well, but very unique-looking, very sexual, and very in shape. Ages 15 to 25, and you must be independent on your own personal, very reliable vehicle. Have a little bit of open time. You must be very, very, very... Jesus Christ. You must be very sexual, and open-minded as well. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I'm not the only one struggling with the grammar
and extremely
here.
serious about it. Okay, but she's started on a lot of projects. This girl is fucking busy.
Not with grammar school, apparently.
Not with grammar school.
Anyway.
I just think I don't know.
Yeah, not my favorite.
It's funny. It's funny. And then the last one I think is good.
Oh, hold on.
Which is just the photo that I sent to you.
Yeah, I'm going to open that up. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Goth, emo, non-commercial porno. Portland. Hometown. Looking for camera guy and a couple of emo punk for erotic BDSM video in basement. Gonna make it look like Saw.
With heavy metal music.
With heavy metal music. Satanism, sex, and drugs will be provided.
And that was my answer.
That's my favorite one so far. Hey, Profi, we should go do this.
You guys think you're goth emo? You guys think you
Profi's more
qualify?
goth than emo than me. I think
don't
Kevin.
think
Kevin, what about you? You want to go be cameraman for? It's gonna be like Saw, but with heavy metal music and Satanism, sex and drugs, and erotic.
I mean, let's face it. It sounds like a good time, right?
Yeah, maybe if it was
no pay,
like psytrance instead of heavy metal music, And shamanism instead of Satanism.
I'm sure they're open to suggestions. They seem like an open-minded crew.
All right. Well, that's the end of our Craigslist section. And
what the fact?
What the fact is next?
Oh, it's been a while since I've done this one.
Been a while.
I have a couple things for you today. The first is a multiple choice question. Before the mid-19th century, dentures were commonly made with teeth. A, pulled from the mouths of dead soldiers. B, pulled from the mouths of dead pigs. C, carved out of wood. D, there were no dentures yet. They were developed 4 years later.
In what year?
Mid-19th century.
Repeat
4 years later in the mid-19th century? That doesn't fucking help.
So say the beginning
It's a
part
shitty
again.
answer.
I didn't hear the first part.
Before, like, as in the question?
Yeah.
Before the mid-19th century, dentures were commonly made with teeth.
Okay.
A, pulled from the mouths of dead soldiers. B, pulled from the mouths of dead pigs. C, carved out of wood. D, there were no dentures yet. They were developed 4 years later.
The last answer is shitty. Doesn't make sense with this. So I'm going to go no with that.
I don't think it's a yes/no question.
But I'm just ruling that one out. I'm trying to narrow down our options.
She's like, I want to go no.
Yes.
Doesn't every multiple choice question have a freebie in it? Come on.
I'm just trying to narrow down our options. I'm going to go with pig.
It's funny. I'm going to go with D.
Swine.
Okay, you're going to go with pig, and what are you going with, Scott?
I'm going with D. I'm going the last one.
The bad one.
All right. The correct answer is A. They were pulled from the mouths of dead soldiers.
Fuck.
Wait, did the family members not want the teeth in their...
The corpses?
In the
of
corpses?
of their loved ones?
I'm going to guess the corpses didn't need them.
I guess that's true, I guess. People get super sensitive about that, though.
I feel like, you know, when
understand.
they embalm bodies and they have an open casket, I feel like the lips would just fall in. You know, they'd just sink in.
Well, makes sense.
If they didn't have teeth behind them.
Yeah, I really don't know any details on the background on this one.
I'll email someone.
I don't know how many dead soldier funerals are open caskets. I'm guessing a lot of these guys got pushed into a hole somewhere and buried.
Right. Could be.
Mid-19th
All right.
century.
The next one. What ancient animal was once made a Roman senator? A, an owl. B, a dog. C, a horse. D, this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. Fuck.
Say what's A again?
A is an owl. B is a dog. C is a horse. And the question was, what ancient animal was once made a Roman senator?
So, logically, there were a lot of horses used in Rome for chariots. And so I'm thinking there were so many horses that why could they just pick out one horse that is more significant than the other horses? So maybe not that answer.
What is your answer?
Yes.
It's no. It's no.
I'm a yes woman. It's a yes. It's a yes from me, dog.
All right. So, how
Scott,
about you,
what do you
Scott?
say?
I'm going to take a stab in the dark because I have no fucking clue. And I'm just going to go with A, the owl.
I'm going to go with
Okay.
B.
Let me go with B. The correct answer is C, a horse.
Fuck!
And it was Roman Emperor Gaius who made his favorite horse a Roman senator.
He picked favorites. That's horrible.
That's funny. And ridiculous at the same time.
Right?
Oh my god.
It's a little bit of D, you have to admit.
That's
D,
true.
you would have gotten half a point for D.
Right.
Have you guys ever seen Mr. Hands?
I don't know.
Have you seen Mr. Hands' profile?
I think so.
Do you know
Sounds
what it
really
is?
familiar. I'm spacing it, but I feel like I've been shown it because it sounds really, really familiar.
What do you think it is?
Just so
I don't
everybody
know.
knows that squeaking sound is my dog playing with its squeaky toy.
No, I really am drawing a blank, but it just sounds like something very familiar.
So
Like
Mr.
someone had told me
Hands
about it.
is a porn where
I
a guy
figured that
gets
was gonna be a
fucked by a
porn.
horse. And maybe it's this guy. This
No.
Roman
That's
emperor.
why.
Yeah, no, I don't
That
think
was
it
going
is,
around
but-
years ago.
Is that the one where the horse
That
just
was
like thrusts a little too hard and like basically
I think it
breaks the
kills
guy's
him.
fucking insides? Yeah, that's horrible.
Oh.
That's fucking horrible.
That's
Horrible.
why I
Sorry.
didn't.
Dude,
remember.
that's fucked.
Oh.
That joke was fucked up.
It doesn't
What?
sound like
What?
a joke.
No. Scott just made a pun. He tried to make a pun that wasn't, and then I get yelled at for making jokes all the time.
That's my first pun.
I
That's
know.
my first fucking pun.
Wow. It did.
Fucking
Listen.
Guys, let's just draw a line right now
No.
and just move
Wow.
on. Come on.
No. The pun didn't hit, so he corrected himself and just said.
I didn't correct myself.
Yeah,
I
you
went
did.
with it. I
No,
went with
you
it.
said horseable, and then no one laughed, so you're like horrible.
That's I didn't even
embarrassing.
hear it. Did you just snort?
I did. I snorted. That's that. Yep.
Oh God.
Shit happens.
All
What are
right.
you gonna do?
Shit happens.
All right, let's move on.
Yep.
That's pretty funny. You calling me out on
Oh
that.
yeah.
She wasn't
Yeah.
gonna let me get away with that shit because we've been calling her out the whole fucking show. She's just been waiting for her in. She's just been waiting for that chance. Good. I'm glad. Enjoy that. Enjoy that while you have
I'll
it.
watch
All
this
right.
moment
Yeah.
over and over
Now,
again.
yeah. Enjoy
So
that
this-
one. That's all
this-
you. That's
this,
all you get for this show.
This next one's a true or false question. In ancient Egypt, servants were smeared with honey. True or false?
I'm gonna say that's for the royalty. So false.
I'm gonna go true just for entertainment value. I mean, I have no idea.
The correct answer is true, but for a bonus point, why?
So that they could catch rats running around the castle and the kingdom and the village. So they were just like,
The village of Egypt, the kingdom of
oh
Egypt.
wait, is this a question about Egypt? Wait.
It
Wow.
started with
Are you
in
listening?
ancient Egypt.
Can you hear anything that we're talking about?
I was riding the high of like.
She's still thinking about horses.
Yeah. She loves that video.
Well, so definitely not that. Not the village of Egypt.
I have no idea. Tell us.
All right. In order to attract flies away from the pharaoh.
Really? Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is so strange.
I have a few more here.
Okay.
Who executed his wife's lover, then forced her to keep her lover's head in a jar of alcohol in her bedroom? A. Mao Zedong, B. Stalin, C. Pol Pot, or D. Peter the Great?
Oh man. I don't really. I think I know one of those historical figures, and that would be Stalin. So I'm gonna go with Stalin because that's the only one I know.
C. I'm going with C.
Which was?
Something.
A horse.
The horse.
The village of Egypt.
Oh, wow. This is just falling apart.
Yeah.
Well, as
It
Go
was D. Peter the Great.
Okay.
That was what my gut said.
Then, let's see. African American men were not deemed equal members of the Mormon Church until 19:8. So 19:8. Give me the year.
I'm gonna go with 1958.
I'm going to go with 98.
The correct answer was 78.
Right in
Until
the middle.
late 70s.
You should have made that multiple choice.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you?
All right. Here's the last one.
All right.
These are. I think I made all these too hard. You guys aren't doing well. This
Well,
time.
all of ours are too hard for everything today.
Yeah.
I think we need to ease up on each other for next episode.
The last one. South Africans, in an attempt to root out homosexuality in their army, did what? A. Banned all gay people from the military. B. Gave gay and lesbian soldiers sex changes. C, made homosexuals do demeaning jobs if exposed. D, executed any soldier found to be gay.
What year was this?
No year.
I'm gonna go with C. It's either C or D. That's my guess.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. I'm gonna agree with those answers.
All of them?
Let's go with C. All of them. I agree with all of them.
It was actually B.
What?
No fucking way.
Gave gay and lesbian soldiers sex changes.
Oh my gosh. That's
Where was
horrible.
this? Africa?
Yeah, I was looking for strange stuff, and a lot of strange stuff popped up. So
That's weird.
That is crazy.
It's kind of fucked up. They wouldn't be allowed to serve in our army
I guess not
anymore.
now.
Thanks to
the Cheeto in chief.
you know who. Yeah.
So I think we're on to our show topic. Hopefully we do better at getting through that than we have some of these other segments.
Right. All right. Well, today's show topic is scams, and actually, let me explain like where this sort of came from.
Give it a title.
Yeah, this is called The Worm, and I hope that this name is adopted like wider after people hear this. I'm going to explain where The Worm comes from in a moment, but I want to explain what led me to want to make this show about scams and why I felt so compelled. Naomi and I, my wife, we talk about this all the time. As we've gotten older, we've just been we get less tolerant of people's bullshit. And she actually came up with this name, The Worm. And what The Worm is it do you guys remember the movie Hackers?
Nope.
Okay. Profile, you remember
Absolutely.
Hackers? Okay.
Well, of course, it had a young Angelina Jolie.
Oh my God, the best Angelina Jolie ever. That one. With the
it was
short
really
hair.
stupid though as a movie.
No, it's a stupid movie. But
she was hot though for quite a while.
The premise of this, The Worm, was the bad guys in the movie wrote this virus or whatever they called it, the worm, and what it did was it was a financial thing where it skimmed off like literally cents off the top of every transaction that basically goes unnoticed. But after millions of transactions, all this money goes into this account where there's millions of dollars, right? And so The Worm, Naomi sort of brought this up like a couple of years ago, and we've just been using this term. It's all these little things that we notice, like these little hidden fees and these things that you just don't think about that you just get scammed for all the time, and we've just become more observant to it, and now it's like, there's the worm again. It's the worm, like it's, and so what really triggered the passion of wanting to do this topic was Naomi and I went to a transcendental meditation introduction course. Now, I have been wanting to add meditation to my life. I've tried it on my own with varying degrees of success, but I wanted a little bit of guidance, and I thought maybe if I go to a class, I can learn to do this better, so to bring more peace to my life, right? Totally good intent. So I looked up transcendental meditation because I'd heard about it before. I'd heard, David Lynch is kind of the spokesperson for it. I have a couple friends who do transcendental meditation. I'm like, you know what? Cool. This sounds cool. I'm gonna look into this. So there was a transcendental meditation intro course in Portland. We signed up. We went, and they seemed normal looking people. They weren't kooky. They weren't crazy. They sort of explained to us this form of meditation is, they showed us brain waves and all. They went through their whole PowerPoint presentation.
The PowerPoint.
And I'm like, okay, this sounds good. Now Naomi the whole time is like sitting there, like you can see her body language. She's like fidgeting, and she's like, and I'm trying to be a little more open to it. And so at the very end, when they're talking about, well, how much does this cost? It's like, it was $900 and something so you can get your personal mantra, and they teach you how to meditate. Now, let me just say, had it been a couple $100, I would have been like, you know what, totally cool. I'm down to pay a couple $100. I would have done it. Yeah, I would have done a couple $100.
Really?
I would have done a couple $100.
Why?
No. I would have done a couple $100 to like have someone like give me tools. It's like going to a psychologist. Can I work out my psychological problems myself? Sure, probably over time, but there are probably people who can give you tools to do it quicker. like a counselor psychologist if you're going.
So you're thinking
like the
a
internet?
couple $100, like you're thinking a couple $100 all inclusive. Like you get your mantra, you get some instruction, you get to meditate there for a while, like that kind of thing.
And so I that would have been acceptable to me. But then when I heard it's like, almost $1,000 per person. Not for both of us, per person. It was like we were like, okay, thank you, and we literally they weren't even done with their presentation.
Signing up?
Yeah, there were a few people who were like that seemed pretty eager to dive right into this. And I've seen documentaries on Scientology. I've been around, so I didn't get sucked in. We literally left. We looked at each other. We're like, we're fucking out of here, and we took off. And of course the car ride home, we were just all fiery about oh my God, it's the worm, and Naomi's crying because she's just like, I can't believe they're scamming people out of money, and then I became very passionate about doing the subject because it's just we see this type of thing around us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For me, things I can bring up off the top of my head, it's like ATM fees, right? You go to take $20 out of your bank account, it's $3 charged. Where does that money go? Where do these little fees every time that do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you have a few of your own. It's like ATM fees, or another one that bugs the shit out of me is casinos, right? Because I was watching this movie 21 the other day. It was about card counters that came from MIT. And casinos love to take your money, but the minute you have a fucking method that you might be able to win some fucking money back, boy, they're fucking pulling you into the fucking dark room and kicking the shit out of you because...
Yeah.
And it's not illegal. Yeah, I get it, but doesn't it piss you off that the minute that you might be able to actually change it, that they're fucking they're beating you up because you've found a way to it's the worm. It's everywhere. It's like it's trying to
it's even in your vagina apparently.
All right. Well, so
the worm.
That's my introduction to this segment to this topic. I'm passionate. I hate. I'm so tired of scams. I'm tired of people being scammed, and so let's talk about it.
Well, I guess I should kind of qualify what I just said, but that goop thing.
Oh, the thing I put up.
Paltrow does.
Yes.
Yeah, with the jade egg or whatever it is that is supposed to reinvigorate your vagina.
I have no idea what that is. You're gonna have to tell me.
I think Cody should explain this. She's probably a little more in tune with the vaginal
the vaginal. Vaginal therapies.
Vaginal therapies.
I'm gonna go grab a beer so you keep talking.
So basically, I went for the wellness scams area because I come from a background of going to psychic fairs and seeing all the weird fucking bullshit that they try and scam you into and make you think we'll jump into this ionic foot bath, and I'll go into detail later of why that's bullshit, but they just prey on people who are just looking for answers anywhere and looking to better themselves, and they're trying to throw weird science facts at you. And Gwyneth Paltrow is everyone knows who Gwyneth Paltrow is, So now she's advocating for this company, or she's the face of this company called Goop. And Goop, what they do is they create these weird ass products and then sell them for a lot of fucking money. And the two that really bothered me, where I put the links on here of them, but the first one were these healing stickers, which they were saying astronauts, they're from astronaut suits, and they help you.
Wait a
it's
second.
fucking weird.
Okay, hold on. Kevin, will you bring this up?
I read an article about this just the other day as well. It might have been the same one.
Yeah, it might have
Gwyneth
been.
Paltrow and Goop's latest health fad was so bad that NASA got involved. Wow.
Yeah, because they were like, what the hell is she talking
They're
about?
stickers that promote healing, is what she was saying. And that it's a pre-programmed sticker, or a pre-programmed fabric that...
Pre-programmed?
Right. And then NASA was like, how the fuck do you program a fabric? Which might be a good idea for future scientific endeavors.
Sure. But
currently, of course. That's not available to us currently. And they're just saying that it makes your body the ideal frequency if you wear these stickers. And they sell
That's
them.
some Earth cookie bullshit right there.
It rebalances your energy frequencies in the
and there's
body.
no way to measure your fucking frequencies, first of all. And they sell these for $60 for a 10-pack.
It's a little fucking sticker.
It's a It's like you can just buy, a sticker.
Well, what is that sticker of in the picture? Is it like someone flexing their arm or something, or what is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just took a stock image of.
Yeah, so
stickers.
basically NASA felt like they had to speak up because the whole thing was so completely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And
But this company does a lot of shit like that, correct? I mean, okay.
The next thing.
Back to the jade vaginal egg.
Yeah, so they like posted on their website, better sex, jade eggs for your yoni, which I love that word for vagina. But basically,
it makes them feel. It makes them sound very spiritual.
yoni.
That's
pretty
the
good.
yogic name
Yoni.
for it. That's the yogic name for the vagina.
Is it
the
really?
yogic
The
name.
yoni?
Yeah, and they're using it so they can sound very cosmic and
Right.
you know.
And they're
good.
saying like these jade eggs, if you sleep with them inside of you, so you insert them into your vaginal canal
Okay.
and sleep with them in there. And what they claim that it's going to do is change your hormones and balance you out. But doctors are advising people not to fucking do that because that is just like, it's poor. That jade egg is so porous, like it can breed bacteria and that's just sitting in your vagina.
Right.
It's so bad for you.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a bad idea.
It's horrible, and it's like potentially toxic shock syndrome as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was
I've
about
heard
to
about
say.
that too. That's like not.
Yeah.
I've heard about.
No,
I've
well,
read a
no,
tampon box once.
No, but no. I mean, I have a wife.
He's
who, like,
only
I
suffered
discussed
from
this
it
with.
once.
What I mean is that it's like it's toxic shock syndrome is serious business for women.
Yeah.
Like you can die from it. So
Is that
that's-
kind of fucked
yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Whenever Scott gets sand in his vagina, he definitely suffers.
Totally. It's
Yeah, but instead of this might just be a plug, but the Diva Cup, instead of tampons for women, it's a fucking game changer. Have you guys heard of the Diva Cup?
No.
No.
Tell Naomi
Please
to get
educate
one.
me.
Tell your wife to get one because tampons are really not great for you. Diva Cups are basically like these silicone cups, as is in the
Right.
name, and you just put them in, and then they fill up, and it's reusable.
You dump it, right?
It's reusable, and you just save a lot of money, and also it's
Have
not
you
bad
tried
for
them?
you. Yeah, I use it.
Are they uncomfortable or
Not at all.
comfortable?
You don't even
No
feel
more
it.
uncomfortable than a tampon, I'm
Nope,
sure.
don't
Huh.
even feel it.
Crazy. I'm going to tell her about that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I wanted to share about that.
Cool.
But anyways, fucking Gwyneth Paltrow and these fucking stickers and yoni eggs. That's so fucked up. And she's
Yeah.
just
There are a lot of companies that prey on people for those kinds of things.
But
though.
people need to take responsibility and be self-aware. They need to do their research before they start sticking things on their bodies.
Right.
You
or
know,
in
or
their bodies.
wasting or in their bodies, or just wasting money just because someone says you should get this, you should get that. Except for I just said go get the Diva Cup. So, but do your research because the Diva Cup is good.
True. Good. That's a good disclaimer.
Good disclaimer.
Well, another thing that kind of comes to mind when we're talking about this sort of thing, the worm. I think a perfect example of that was just hung out to dry during this whole hurricane thing. Joel Osteen,
Oh, fuck that
Oh
dude.
my God.
Fuck
right?
him.
That
Yeah.
pastor of that giant mega church, right? And so he's like, oh, we can't take anybody in, because we're underwater. And then all these people took pictures of the place looking totally bone dry. And then
Right.
he's starting trying to find ways around it and saying, they didn't have anybody because the city hadn't asked them to take anybody in. And he was coming up with all these reasons and stuff.
Slime.
And then he got pretty much just slammed by everybody.
Slime. Like
Right.
the people like that are slime.
Yeah, and then he eventually did open up his doors.
Because he had to.
Because of all the press, yeah.
And one thing I'm not sure of, but when he did, I had heard, and this might be totally not true, but I somehow believe it could be true, that they passed around a basket for donations.
Oh my God.
From the
amongst
hurricane
peop-
victims?
Yeah, amongst them.
Wow. Wow.
Like, that takes some serious balls if that happened, right?
Wow.
It's astonishing.
Oh, when will we learn, people? When will we learn?
And in this country, there's so many of them, right? I mean, like televangelists, this shit goes on like everywhere, and they make tons of money, and all they do is sell God.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's that simple.
Yeah. That's it.
I mean, there's a lot more to it than just God. They're selling a community. They're selling.
They're whipping
like-
people up into a frenzy of feeling community or this or that, but it's
Or,
still all
understanding.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it though is community. I mean, I grew up with a lot of religion in my life, which is why I'm so anti-religion now, and a lot of it really is a big clique. And if you're not a part of that clique, and everyone that you know and love or that you care about is a part of that clique, you feel very ostracized. It's a really interesting conundrum to be, especially when you're younger and you don't have options. You know what I mean?
That's true, but the worm isn't the followers. The worm is the leaders, and
that is
the
true.
The fact that those motherfuckers get away with it is pretty mind blowing, because a lot of those people who need community and who are getting all of those things that may seem very positive, a lot of them, they have no real incomes. A lot of them aren't very wealthy, and they're sending tons and tons of money to these jokers.
Yeah.
And
preying
it's
on the poor
to
seems to be a very predominant strategy for the rich, is to basically bleed the poor drier. It's not uncommon. That happens all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what I mean? I can understand that. Not to make anyone who buys into this stuff feel bad about themselves, but I understand how it happens. It's almost like drug addiction. It's like, fuck, my life sucks. Like, I need something. I need to feel something. I need to feel something, an answer, or it's so easy to misstep.
Yeah.
What you need clearly is an ionic foot bath.
Oh God. Yeah.
Is this something else?
This is another thing, and I've seen these. It's right next to all the crystal stands and everything at these psychic fairs, but do you guys know what ionic foot baths are?
I'm gonna guess it's some sort of foot bath.
It's like a detox of some sort.
But is it ultrasonic? Is it like high frequency? Like, is that?
It gives you good vibes.
No. Like, okay, so my mom used to have a jewelry.
Good vibrations.
No. Like, hear me out. My mom used to have a jewelry company, and they used to clean jewelry. They used to put them in these baths that did this high frequency stuff that got all the dirt.
Scott, you're trying to make it actually scientific sounding by real vibrations. No, this is something I think completely different.
It is. Propine, you had it on the head.
Oh, okay.
Too. It's
well, I was trying to just be.
I know. You were doing the right thing.
Yeah,
you were trying to make sense out of it, but I think that's where you overstepped what this is.
Okay.
Logical.
Yeah, we have to think on their level of.
So Cody, give us the breakdown of this.
Yeah.
So ionic foot baths, they promote the detoxing, which are why just means our kidneys and livers just aren't necessary apparently anymore, and they don't do their jobs anymore. But these ionic foot baths are these baths where they have you sit, and then just like a brown color will come out after a few minutes, and it'll be like, yeah, these are all the toxins that are coming out, and there'll be like different particles, and they'll tell you, yeah, this is what this particle showing up in your dirty water means, and so forth and whatnot. But there's they've tested is that it's just a fucking science experiment. Like, it's just rust that's coming out of these tubes. It's like two pieces of metal and it's just rust coming out. And so what they did is they ran one of these baths in front of one of the people who have the stands, and with no one having their feet in it, and the same color came through. So it's just they're fucking scamming people by basically doing a science experiment, making them pay $30, $40, $50 to just sit there for 20 minutes.
Wow.
And detox when it's just fucking rusting at their feet.
I've heard that, I remember it was a large number of years ago. I used one of those earwax candle things.
I've heard about those.
And all that crap that's in there that supposedly is coming out of your ear, I've heard is totally
I hear that those are bullshit.
Well.
Those are bullshit.
Yeah. And it's really dangerous because if any of the hot, any of the heat or the wax were to get into your ear, it could totally burn.
Really fuck you up.
This is, but this type of scam has been going on for millennia.
Exactly.
It's like snake oil. I mean, that's really just the best way to explain it. It's you sell something that promises something that's gonna cure you of something that some ailment that you suffer from. It's snake oil. It's that's really the.
Yeah, and it goes from the financially disastrous and or just annoying to the lethal, right? Because one thing that's happened more in the area of drugs is that people have started to realize that they can get unbelievable quantities of a very potent form of fentanyl out of China, which is a extremely powerful opiate drug.
Like more than heroin, correct?
Oh, way more. But
Wow.
there's a version of it that you can get in China that's even far more than the typical. You have to measure this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You have to measure this kind of stuff in like micrograms kind of stuff, or milligrams. I don't know if it's milligrams or micrograms for this one because I'm not personally familiar with it. But like you have to really, really be precise, or you could die. It's that strong. And they're starting to cut all sorts of other drugs with it. They're starting to sell fake versions of known opiate painkillers online with this drug, and they're just trying to give you the amount that would mimic the effect
of right, exactly.
Other thing, like whether it be a Vicodin or some other typical painkiller, because people go looking for them. I have myself, because if you have a prescription for things, sometimes you run out or this or that. You want to figure out if you can get it cheaper or blah, blah, blah. People have legitimate reasons to have normal prescription drugs. And even for something like that, they're making fakes. And if any of that were not measured correctly, it could just kill everybody. I've heard they're adding it to bad Coke. I've heard they're adding it to low-grade
That's my worst
heroin.
fear.
They're adding it to all sorts of drugs because it automatically gives you a euphoria that can make those drugs seem more potent.
Right.
And that's frightening, right? Because if you're dealing with something that has to be measured in such tiny, tiny, tiny amounts, do you really trust the guy who's swinging all this stuff to make that judgment call?
Nope. No.
So everyone's got an angle,
Yeah.
Yeah. What other scams?
You guys know more about this stuff, like rental scams and mortgage scams and
oh my gosh.
you know.
So I've never owned a house. Profi, you've owned two. Most of my friends my age own houses, but I've been renting my whole life. And one thing that I continually run into, I mean, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a teenager. I'm in my 40s, and it's at this age, it's definitely frustrating to have to deal with this. Not that it's any better when you're younger. I think it tends to happen to younger people because younger people tend to trash places more than older people do, or maybe who might be a little more responsible. However, as a renter, one of the things that I have run into ad nauseum is trying to get your deposit back. After you could do everything perfect, you could have the house spick and span, and I've actually had several occasions where I've left the place beautiful. There's nothing in fact, maybe even better than I got it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we had to have a professional come in and clean it, and and for any reason, they just make up any reason, and then you lose your deposit, and I think that happens everywhere, because you know what happens. You go, you move into a place, you pay the deposit, and the landlord probably needs money like everybody else. They spend, instead of putting your deposit in a savings account, which they should be doing, they spend your deposit knowing that they're not going to give it back to you, and then they just make up excuses why you don't get your deposit back. And the renter has no legal ground to stand on at all. That's the fucking worm right there.
You have ground, but it's so difficult to do anything about it. Like going to court, it's small claims.
It's
and all that
more.
kind of
It's
stuff.
going to be more expensive.
It's a nightmare.
And they know that. Yeah. And they know that.
Yeah, it's happened to me. It's happened to me for sure. I didn't get back a deposit.
Oh, it's horrible. It's happened to me 3 times in a row.
Really?
In the last 5 years.
What were the excuses they gave you?
Just we had to have you left the house a disaster, which I mean, I don't do that anymore. Have I done it in the past when I was younger? Yeah, sure. But not at this point.
Yeah.
There was another guy who just didn't take our calls. Like, he just wouldn't he blocked our number.
What?
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It's very frustrating, and so yeah, that's another one.
Has that happened to you, Profi?
That one has happened to me. When I lived in Long Beach, there was a place that I got that was pretty trashy when I first got it. And when I left, I had washed all the windows. I had dusted everything. There was not any damage in the carpets or the walls or anything like that. I think I could have argued that I left it far cleaner than how I got it, and they just did everything they could to not give me the money.
Oh yeah.
Some things. Sorry, finish. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, so some things that people are doing nowadays are just they take pictures of everything beforehand. Like they take pictures of anything that has been like any dings in the wall or anything that it would be an issue.
I do
now
that
before
every
then,
time
date
now.
it, file it, and everything, and then show it to them.
Yep.
That's
and
a smart
so,
thing
so
to do.
for those of you who are listening out there, if this has ever happened to you, take pictures, take video with the landlord, do a walkthrough with your landlord, and just document everything, because that way you have something to stand on afterwards. Like that's good advice, very good advice.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I have something that kind of deviates from the subject a little bit. So if you had a thought, you should.
What I was just gonna say is like for all these like scam topics, I think it's helpful if we're like, yeah, you should do this instead. Like here's how to avoid this.
Yeah,
I think it's good and helpful to have these tips. But that was just my thought, and you can go with yours.
I agree.
Oh well, but the one I was going to bring up, maybe there's a tip in there as well. A friend of mine and we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to save money and generate savings and all that kind of stuff. We've gotten mortgages and refis and like all these kinds of things. And so we spent a lot of time just talking about stuff like this. And one of the sort of worms that I encountered just this last week, he told me about it, and I wanted to bring it up in this show, is it seems like a little bit of a mortgage payoff con, right? Now, when you have a mortgage, they front load a significant amount of the interest in the front. So basically, you spend years and years and years just paying down the interest before you ever get to the principal, which is the actual amount that you borrowed. Now, the thing about that is that, they make ungodly amounts of money off of you. So if you were able to pay down this faster, or if you were able to pay down the principal more directly, you can suddenly carve huge amounts of years in debt out of the whole equation, right? So what this one bank did that he's working with is they said, hey, you can pay us every 2 weeks, and that will lower your mortgage. Now, the thinking there is since interest is accrued on a daily basis, if you were to pay in 2-week chunks, you're cutting levels of interest out over the span of 30 years, right? And he had calculated that if he was able to meaningfully pay his mortgage, off in 2-week chunks instead of in monthly chunks, it could save him 6 years.
No shit.
What?
Wow.
The numbers work out pretty crazy, but the thing about this was they implied that this is what would happen, because that would be the normal benefit you would assume. If you're paying it more regularly, you're paying less interest, and so all the mechanics should end up being really cool. And this particular mortgage company sort of insinuated that this was the case. So he investigates a little bit more deeply and finds out the whole thing is really bullshit. What they do is they let you pay in 2-week chunks, but they don't actually contribute the original payment to the mortgage. They just wait until you've paid both, which means it's exactly like paying your normal mortgage rate, except they can say that you're paying your shit down faster, because if you do it by 2 weeks instead of by hard months, there's a thing where you basically end up paying 13 payments a year instead of 12. It's one payment difference, because the year, the way it lines up, if you pay based off months, you have 12 payments. But if you base your pay off of weeks, in this sense, you have 13, because the year doesn't align perfectly with the months. It's like they're not all equal as far as the weeks are. So they basically imply that you can do this incredible thing where you can save all of this money, 6 years potentially of mortgage payments, but all they really did in this whole thing was give you an opportunity to pay an extra payment a year, which has almost no real benefit meaningfully at all. And he caught this, and he was super pissed. He was just
people should be pissed. People should be pissed. I mean, it happens everywhere. People are getting scammed. I just watched that show that you put.
Scam City.
Yes.
My mom loves this show so much.
I watched 2 episodes. I watched the Rome episode, and I watched the maybe 2 or 3 episodes. But why don't you tell people what this is?
So Scam City is a Netflix show, and it's kind of like a documentary thing. And I've done some more research on it, and it turns out I think some of them were staged to kind of just show what some of the
Of course, the show itself is a scam.
The show, of course, it's not a scam, but it's just like they had to stage some scenario so that they could show it. Actually, they may have not been able to capture the footage of it actually happening. But so this guy travels around to different large cities in different countries all over the world where there are known scams. And what he does is he will try and catch. He'll go with like a secret. Like hidden cameras on him,
He's got a button camera
and another person. Yeah, he's a button camera, and he'll have them like he'll try have the scams happen to him, and then like talk about it and like where they came from and why they do it. And he'll actually ask these people after they do the scams like why they do it and how they do it, and they'll explain it to him. And it's really interesting.
Yeah,
it's a cool thing to know if you watch these. So if you're traveling around to any of these cities, you kind of get an idea of like what to avoid and what to look out for.
Right.
Just because being a tourist, you don't know anything.
Oh my gosh.
So what was your favorite? Like, were there some that stood out to you?
Well, it was interesting. The first episode was Rome, and I lived in Europe all of 2012. I mean, I went to Rome, and I had heard about all these scams, and I was really, really, really careful to keep all my shit close to me, to not, I talked to people, but I didn't buy into anything. Like, I did my own shit. I didn't go on tours that, like, oh, you come on, on. They're trying to sell you tours. They're trying to sell you guides. The guides are they're trying to get you to hire them as guides. Like, I just did my own shit, and I stayed away, and I kept all my shit close to me. Like, if you're smart and you do that, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't do that. They're looking, like, specifically, you go to the Vatican. There are people out there outside the Vatican who are selling tours. Specifically, this one episode where like you can cut the line, you can save 2 hours in the line, and like we're gonna show you everything. And really, like they have nothing to do with the Vatican. It's just scams. Just trying to $60 to get your money, and then they disappear. But that's just one example.
Yeah.
That's just one example, but they're all over the place. And there's another city, I forgot. It was like, I don't want to say, not Madagascar, that's an island. It was Morocco, where they went to go buy a Persian rug, an authentic Persian rug.
I didn't see that one.
Oh my gosh, like, yeah.
And it was not a Moroccan rug.
No, and it wasn't. Rug. Yeah, it wasn't hand. They basically trying to tell him, oh, this is like 500 years old, and it was done by hand. And like the guy buys the rug, obviously, because that's part of the show, and he takes it to a rug expert, and the guy's like, yeah, this was made on a machine. This is probably 2 weeks old, and you got scammed. You know what I mean? It's just like, but these in their defense. A lot of these countries, they scam people, and I'm not advocating for scam artists, but I understand when you're poor and tourists come in with money. I understand why it happens. I don't think that it gives license to scammers everywhere, but I have to believe that some people scam because it is the only way that they can make money.
Or it's in the culture too sometimes.
In those cases, I mean, they're targeting tourists.
Right.
And usually you're getting something that you probably still got at a very good deal compared to what it would have cost at home.
Right.
Like buying a big rug is going to be super expensive in the States, whether it's 2 weeks old and made on a machine or not.
Right.
Buying one in Morocco, maybe not that bad. So it seems a little less shitty. In Italy, I would actually worry more because Italy's like famous for just getting pickpocketed.
Italy's still like just so you know, I spent a lot of time in Italy. Italy is still very much a third world country. Like I don't think that anyone thinks about it that way, but Italy is a third world country.
Wow.
Yeah.
My parents used to tell me a story. My parents were very involved with BMW and driving schools and racing and stuff like that. And they were in Italy once with a bunch of people from the BMW club. And one of the guys that was with them was a famous race car driver at the time. He had a very fancy, rare car. And they say that they went to this restaurant to go get something to eat. And everybody parked their cars around this car so that it was completely blocked in because they figured, we're in Italy, might as well take extra precaution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go and have dinner and come back out, and the car's gone.
The car in the middle?
The car in the middle. And every other car is still there. They must have lifted the car out somehow.
What?
And my parents aren't the type of people to bullshit like that at all. I mean, this is a true story. I have no doubt. But that's the level of expertise that goes into thieving in Italy.
Wow.
My mom lives there currently, and she has just horror stories about how everything is a scam there. She tells me this all the time. We talk every couple weeks on the phone, and she if you want to get a loan or something in Italy, it's not just going to the bank. You have to literally give under the table money to talk to this person so that he can connect you with this person. There's there's so many under the table deals that happen with legitimate deals. And she couldn't believe it. She's like, you don't understand how dirty everything is here. Everything. It's all dirty. Everyone has to get paid under the table to connect you with this person and then this person.
So crazy.
It's just one after another, and she's been dealing with it for years. It's she's got one story after another. Italy is great food, but fucking it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially as an American, because they know it's you're American, you must be rich. And she tells me that all the time. They assume that because I'm from America that I'm rich.
Right.
But she's not. So
compared to them, though.
Perhaps.
She does live on Lake Como.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, this is about scams and about my mom.
How rich your mom is. That reminds me of in South America. I have a lot of friends who go and visit South America and who get pulled over by the police. And what they do is they give you this fake ticket where they make you pay them. You have to pay for the fake ticket right there to the police officer, and pay them $100. And they're like, okay, your ticket's fine. It's gone.
Right.
So it's just you're paying off these. They're just taking your money. Right
They
there.
used to do that at the border all the time. There was always sort of the stories from TJ. If you went down to TJ, people would hop into taxis, and then the taxi drivers would offer to sell them drugs.
That was another part of the scam show where they did taxi scams.
Wait, was that in Buenos Aires in Argentina?
That was on your show, the Netflix scam show. It was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Buenos Aires, but
Buenos Aires.
But man, watch the show, guys. But it wasn't Buenos Aires. There are a lot of taxi scams too.
That one was my favorite one. That Buenos Aires one, where they went there, and what they did is the biggest scam there is with the taxi drivers. So when you get there, the meter is doubled, obviously, and people will notice it and call them out on it and just end up getting out. But also when you give them the money, they they shortchange you and they give you fake money. So
that happened all the time. Even vendors were doing that.
Yeah. And they just have these fake dollars that you can tell somehow looking at it, but they're so close to being real. The watermark symbol will just be a little inches off. So there's no way you could really be able to tell unless you were really, really looking for it. But it's just crazy.
It's just
how much money they make.
We have to wrap up here pretty soon. I know that on our list we have towing scams. We just talked really briefly, touch on some of those.
God,
we've all been a party to that before.
Thank God I haven't.
You don't live in a major city though, like LA, like we did.
I've paid thousands in towing.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, same here. Tax to me seems like a big scam as well. There's everything is taxed. Where does all that money go?
They have places where taxes go.
On the most benign level, I think one thing where tax is a scam here, it's a psychology thing. If you're in Europe, or let's say in Germany, for instance, when you look at a price of something, you pay exactly what that price is. They roll the taxes into the price because as a consumer, you're just concerned with what you're paying for, right? But what we do here, it's a little more insidious, right? Because here we don't put in the tax. And then we also do a lot of this sort of like .99 thing, 99 cents, right? And there's a reason for it because it makes psychologically, it makes the whole thing feel cheaper. And it's to suck you in, right. Even though it really fundamentally isn't cheaper. It's a cent difference. So it's even on that level, just the way that we like to market things. And it's a con in a way because it's just trying to sort of grease the rails for you to spend money.
Well, to wrap up, how do we, I guess, just be more aware of your surroundings? I mean, it's happening all around us all the time. Try not to.
Yeah.
Just do your research. I mean, obviously there are certain things, taxes. I mean, that's a government scam, and there's really nothing you can do about it. But I mean, there are a lot of things that you do have control over, and it's really just comes down to being aware of your surroundings and being aware of the situation, and not just buying into whatever anyone says all the time. Like, think about it, like objectively, do some research, talk to people. We have the internet now.
The internet has been such a godsend, and I specifically am a huge advocate of Reddit, and that's how I find out about a lot of these different topics of like things that I feel like I'm being scammed on, and like what are they being scammed on that they don't know, and it gives you so many different articles and of information that really help you. And I just think doing your research before you go visit places is a really good thing. And I mean, even these like pyramid scheme companies, like people have fucking bought into this, and it's just like weird.
I just saw
mentality.
a documentary on Herbalife the other day. Has anyone heard about the Herbalife scheme?
Yeah.
I mean, there's you basically selling nutritional products like vitamins and shakes and stuff. I couldn't believe I've heard of Herbalife before. I thought it was a legitimate company. Turns out that they're not selling fucking products. They want you to get more people to sell their shit. It's another. It's fucking insane. I swear that it's so easy to get jaded as you get older, and I try not to be jaded. But the more that I find out, the more I realize that it's all just a bunch of shit everywhere. It's people hurting people, just sucking people dry. And just.
And on that positive note.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not trying to be.
It's all shit.
I'm not trying to be negative about it, but you've got to be really careful. There's a lot of there are a lot of vampires out there.
That's true.
There are. They're
not just for your money, but also for your energy too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Your energy and stuff. But yeah, so on the positive note, it's just do your research.
Let's leave on a positive note, yes.
Do your research, talk to people, look up stuff before you get into it, really, before you make a commitment.
See what other people say about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Reviews are important. They exist for a reason.
Except for on fucking Yelp, because that's also a scam where you pay for Jesus, I'm like realizing
what happened to your positive note?
Okay, hold on. Let me talk about Yelp really quickly. Yelp, pay for you pay for good reviews on there. Like businesses can pay to get reviews that aren't good taken down. So
I don't think we're
trust Yelp,
capable of
maybe.
a positive note. Hey Kevin, do you have a positive note for us?
Kevin, do you have anything good to say?
You got something? We're just not able to get there.
The eclipse was pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Since we kind of started on that note, why not end on that note?
Yeah.
All right.
Do your research.
Eclipse. Do your research for
and
sure.
be fucking kind to people.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Don't fuck with other don't fuck with other people. Be nice to everyone.
We're really trying to find something positive. We should have just left it at the eclipse. I think we should have just left it with Kevin and the eclipse.
All right, boys and girls. Well, I guess we'll see you next time. See, I'm not the only jaded one here.
Boys and girls and everything in between.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.